An ongoing fight between Twitter and the government is escalating. Twitter on Tuesday asked an Indian court to overturn some government orders to remove content from the social media platform. Twitter has been in continuous confrontation with the Indian government for a while now, and the US social media companies attempt to get a judicial review is part of the same tussle. A warning was sent to Twitter by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology on June 27, which set a deadline of July 4 for Twitter to comply with the Government of India's order of content removal. If Twitter hadn't complied with the rules, it would have lost its intermediary status in the country. In retaliation, social media giant Twitter is seeking to overturn some Indian government orders to take down content in a legal challenge that alleges abuse of power by officials. Twitter has been asked by Indian authorities over the past year to act on content including accounts supportive of an independent Sikh state, posts alleged to have spread misinformation about protest by farmers, and over tweets critical of government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. India's IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav on Tuesday, responding to questions about Twitter's legal move, said, "Be it any company in any sector, they should abide by the laws of India." The Indian government has previously said that big social media firms, including Twitter, have not complied with removal requests despite their legal standing. Late last month, Twitter was warned by the IT Ministry of Criminal Proceedings if it did not comply with some orders. Twitter complied this week, the sources said, so as not to lose liability exemptions available as a host of content. In a filing with the top court in the southern Indian state of Karnataka, Twitter argued that some removal orders fell short of the procedural requirements of India's IT Act, the source said, without specifying each ones it wanted reviewed. The IT Act allows the government to block public access to content in the interest of national security. Among other reasons, Twitter, which market research firms say has nearly 24 million users in India, also argues in its filing that some of the orders failed to give notice to authors of the content. It says that some were related to political content posted by official handles of political parties, the blocking of which amounted to violation of freedom of speech. All companies, including foreign social media intermediaries, have a right to approach the courts. Junior IT Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar said in a tweet, hours after the Twitter's legal move, without naming the firm, and I quote here it as, "But equally all intermediaries platforms operating here have unambiguous obligation to comply with our laws and rules." Tensions with the Indian government flared early last year when Twitter declined to fully comply with an order to take down accounts and posts which New Delhi alleged were spreading misinformation about anti-government protests by farmers. Apart from this, Twitter has also faced a backlash in India for blocking accounts of influential individuals, including politicians, citing violations of its policies. Last year, Twitter banned the personal account of Union IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad for 1 hour over violation of copyright laws. The account was later reinstated. After this ban, Twitter in India was echoing everywhere in the country. The company has also been subject to police investigations in India. And last year, many government ministers moved to domestically developed platform Coup, accusing Twitter of non-compliance with local laws. If we look back, the entire ban Twitter controversy started with BJP Sambit Patra's tweet blaming Congress for making a toolkit for defaming the government on the COVID and Central Vista issue. In fact, All News ran a fact check on it and discovered that there were a lot of inconsistencies and concluded that the screenshots of the document presented as a toolkit is made on a forged letterhead. India, which industry transparency reports show how among the highest government requests for content takedowns is considering some amendments to its new IT rules, including the introduction of a government-run appeals panel with the power to reverse the content moderation decisions of social media firms. New Delhi has said such measures were needed because the companies had violated Indians' constitutional rights. For the last 2 years, some Twitter users have been spreading fake news on Wuhan virus, tweets triggering controversies and communal riots across the country. In such a situation, the government can ask the social media platform to take such contents down. Here, Twitter claims that the interference of the government is way too much. They say some of the requests are politically motivated and this back and forth going on for months. Even then, Twitter has accepted a few requests, they also rejected some. Now the Indian government has served multiple notices to the firm. It says either take down the content or lose your legal immunity. Right now, Twitter is a social media intermediary like a middleman, which means they are free from legal cases. If this happens, then Twitter will be in big trouble. They will be answerable to every fake tweet. This is one reason why Twitter reached the court. Another reason is money. There are around 24 million Twitter users in India at present and chances are the number will keep rising. So money matters. Now as the firm sues the center, both sides are ready for the fight. It is now up to the judiciary to solve the problem. Before that, we must take note that Twitter is the biggest social media platform in the world and India is a land of largest democracy in the world. We don't know which way this court proceeding will go, but one thing is clear, India needs a transparent system to control the media and the system must include multiple shareholders like the government, the judiciary and the company as well. Also not to forget, in case if the microblogging site fails, it is likely to be banned in India. And not to forget that the ruling BJP is already promoting apps like Poo to replace Twitter.